Good morning, Thistledewers. One project that I've been meaning to do, sorry, it's Judy from Thistledew Creations. One project I've been meaning to do for a while is the big button book that Natasha from Treasure Books did. And I do have a couple of buttons set aside. I don't even know where they are right now. But I was going through some of my jewelry this morning and I came across these earrings that were in my stash, and they are, I guess, a 2-inch circle because the 2-inch circle punch that I'm using fits them very well. What I did was I made myself a little circle book out of them. So this is the cover, the earring is the cover. And then I've got a bunch, and this one has coffee dyed papers, 20 pages, and then a little cardstock back. And then I've just sewn it with some gold thread on this one. So very similar to Natasha's button books, but with an, this is a mother of pearl 2-inch disc that has a hole in it to be an earring or a pendant. And so I thought I would make some little round books, and I will probably include them in Happy Mail. So you may get one of these if you're one of the groups that I send Happy Mail in. So let's just do a couple. I've got a couple prepped here. I've got this beige one all prepped and ready to go except for punching the holes in the paper. And same with this multicolored one. And I've got cords ready for those as well. And then this black and white disc, they're mother of pearl. They're beautiful. And then they're printed on. Take that jump ring off. You could probably use a jump ring to connect them as well. You'd need a bigger one. But I've got cord and stuff, so I'm gonna use that. So my 2-inch punch is the same size as these pendants. So I punched a bunch of backs and I punched a bunch of pages just out of a sketchbook. So easy to do. These punches I get from Temu. So that's that part. Punching a back. And then I used 20 pages, so seven, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tell I've got more than one there. Okay, so what I did for the first one was I just marked with a sharp point where I need to punch the rest of the holes. Like there's a hole in the cover already. So I just use that as a guide to where I want to poke the holes. So that gets it the correct distance away from the edge. And then what I've used, you could just punch them all with a needle or an awl, but I do have this crocodile, but it's the Temu's version of it. I think that's what a crocodile is. And it has on the side here where you can poke a hole, 2 different sizes, a thicker one and a thinner one. So I've used this thinner one and just line it up with that. I'm going to make the mark with pencil so I can see it. And then they're all lined up to each other. And then I'll put that in there. It's hard to see with all those pages. I'll get it as close as I can to my pencil dot. And punch a hole. This makes it very easy to punch through 21 sheets because I got a piece of cardstock there too. And it went through them without me having to squeeze hard, which is really nice. So if you Haven't got a set of these yet. They're for setting the eyelets, but you can also use it to punch holes, so keep that in mind. And then all I have to do is put my cover on, line the holes up. I've already got a needle threaded with some gold thread, so I'm basically making the exact same one, only this one has coffee dyed paper and this one has sketchbook paper. So I'm just going to put the needle through all the holes. And then what I did here, just so that it isn't too tight to turn the pages, is I put a paintbrush handle in there around sort of the fattest part of it. And then I tied my knot. And I found that gave it enough space to be able to turn the little pages without them binding. So then once you've got your knot tied, you can take the paintbrush out. And like I say, that just gives you enough space to turn the pages. It doesn't bind. So I thought they were really cute. You could decorate them up a little further on the front, like glue some more stuff down. These ones are kind of already decorated because they're mother of pearl and they're printed, but you could certainly dress them up some more. This little heart one I didn't think needed anything else. It's just adorable, and I picked out some bright pinkish red thread, just embroidery floss. So again, I'm just lining up my pages. Barely see the hole in this one. And I found that my pencil wouldn't go through the hole, so I used just the needle to make a mark where it needs to be. And then again, I'm going to need to darken that just so that I can see it. Make sure my pages are all lined up. And then make sure I've got the skinnier hole puncher and try to line it up with my pencil mark. It's difficult to get it lined up because I can't really see it. The first one I did a few pages at a time. Maybe I'll have to do that, just because then there's some space left in there that I can see. I just did it on that other one, but I can't seem to do it this time, so I'll get that so that I can see the hole. And punch it. And then I'll just take one of these and try to do the rest of them in the same spot. It doesn't matter where it is around the circle, but you want it the same distance in from the edge, or else you'll they won't be lined up. And you could also, they do have a depth gauge on this. That's probably what I should do, is set the depth gauge, because then it wouldn't matter where I punched it. So you just slide this black thing, and then that keeps it a certain distance away from the edge. So if I get that, got it right in the hole, and then I push this up to it touches the edge of the paper. Then when I do another piece, if I put it down to that black fence, it should be the same distance. Let's see if it is. Yep, I would say that it is. So then I can do the rest of them without looking. Let's try it. Put them in there. Do it. Let's see if it lines up. You line up the hole. Do the edges all line up? And they do. Because if it wasn't lined up, like I'll use the other side and put a bigger hole. If it was too far in, of course, then your pages aren't going to line up. I don't know if you can see that. If it was too far in, your pages wouldn't line up. So that's the idea there. Now I want to make sure I have my 20 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now I've got to get the holes all lined up again. So I'm going to put my back cover onto my needle and just start laying them on there. Luckily these pages don't have a front or a back, they're just plain blank pages. There we go. And then I'll put my front cover on. So those are all lining up nicely. They could actually use to be like 1/8 of an inch smaller, but because they're exactly the same width as the cover, but I'm going with it. And then I put my paintbrush in there just so I have something to tie around. Don't need it on the, you don't need to have it still on the needle, but I'm just going ahead and tying it and then I'll cut it off. So I'm just tying a knot. If you've left yourself a longer piece of thread, you could tie a little bow. I have a hard time tying a bow with this small amount of thread, but you could manage it if you can do a good one. You could use ribbon so that you get a cute little bow, as long as you can get the ribbon onto your needle. That can come out, and then you've got, like I said, that leeway for turning the pages. I just clip them off on an angle. So these are going to be cute in Happy Mail. I'm worried about these breaking a little bit, but I have lots of bubble wrap and foam that I can wrap them in. So I've got 4 of them made so far. Let's do the little black one, and I've got black leather cord for this one. I'm going to put these little strands in my thread jar and put my needles back on my magnet. But first I'm going to use one of them to do this, and I think I will leave, well, I don't need to do I certainly don't need a bow if it's black leather. That doesn't really go. But you could, like I say, use ribbon to sew these, and then you could tie a nice little bow. I'm just sort of flattening that with my fingernails so that it will go through the eye of the needle. I might have to use my pliers to flatten it. Just at the end, just to get it through. And make sure that it'll go through the hole too. Oh yeah, it will. Actually, this, I don't even need the needle because it'll go through the hole without any trouble. It's rigid enough. So let's just get our pages here. I already ruined that back cover, so I'll cut another back cover. And I just felt it should have some cardstock in the back to make it feel like a little book, that it's not just skinny paper through the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 15. So I had 5 there, right? Yeah. So 15 plus 1 for the back. And I'm gonna just use that setting that I already have done and line it up from the back. Put the back and then the first 15 pages, and then the rest of these are all scattered, so I'm going to put them on one at a time. And they're lining up well too. So I'll have to dig out my buttons and watch Natasha's video. This is a little bit different than hers, I'm sure, because she didn't have this hole at the edge. She was doing something else to join them together. So same sort of idea of a little round book, but a different binding method, I'm sure. But I just thought I might as well use some of my jewelry supplies to make some cute little books. And I've got other book charms set aside. So I'm gonna, again, tie my knot around this paintbrush. In fact, do I have a bit bigger one? I'm gonna do a little bit bigger one this time. Tie a knot. Oh, broke my leather cord. I'll cut that off on an angle. I might need a knot of glue on those because it's a little slick. I would like to have more of a tail on those, but if I put a little bead of glue, it should stay tied. I might have to see if I can tighten it with my pliers without breaking it. Tightening it up a bit. So now that I've got it tight, I'm going to put a bead of, just a little drop of 3-in-1 glue on it. Hopefully that'll keep it from coming undone. Just put it towards the back of the knot. That'll dry fairly quickly. And then that little book is done. So if you are on the Junk Journal Junkies Canada Happy Mail list, you may have already got Happy Mail from me, but I'm working my way through the list. And then I'm in a couple of other groups that have lists, so I will start on those lists after I'm done the Junk Journal Junkies ones. But if you have a fondness for these and really have to have one, just contact me and we can work something out. But thanks for watching. I'm having fun trying to recycle all the things and make pretty things out of them. So I hope you like seeing little crafty videos like this, and like, comment, share, and subscribe. But most of all, have a great day. Happy crafting.